Hi, my name is Dan Augusto and welcome to the Gearwire Amp Lab. And we're checking out the G-DEC. This is the 15-watt version with the 8-inch speaker. These G-DECs are sort of interesting animals. The G, of course, stands for guitar, and DEC, D-E-C, stands for Digital Entertainment Center. So this is basically a modeling amp. But the difference between the G-DEC and other modeling amps is it has a built-in synthesizer. So you're able to not only play different styles of guitar, get different amp types, you're able to get drum patterns and bass patterns and synth patterns. And with the addition of the MIDI I, which is over here, you can record these patterns out onto a sequencer, you can change them. You can also trigger the sequences, the drum patterns, and the bass via an external sequencer. So you can have your own personal, compositions playing through the G-DEC using the G-DEC sounds, and at the same time you can play guitar over it. This section over here is where we get into sort of where the G-DEC's brains are. We can get inside, we can change guitar tones, we can change drum patterns, we can change tempo, the key that the bass or your synth is in. There's also a tuner, so if we were to press that, it actually mutes everything, and I could bring up the volume on my guitar and tune my guitar right here. You can see that right there. So this guitar is pretty much in tune. Seems like it's been going a little flat. Okay, now that my guitar is back in tune, I'll just hit that and the amp's back on. So this is the first preset that we get when we turn on the G-DEC. And as you can hear, it's pretty distorted. It's got some delay on it. And it's made to sustain for quite a while. So if we take a look at the buttons that are actually on here, we're going to take a look at these buttons first. The amp button in particular, this is where we really change our sound. We click on that, we see that we have a British 3. That's the setting we have on here. We can change that. Now we have modern 1. All right, I'm just going to randomly click through. Let's see, now we have a tweed amp. All right, a few other ones. We got a black face. And I believe there's also a few that won't distort as much as a Dynatouch, back to the British. Let's see if we can't find one that's not all that distorted. All right, let's go with these effects. So right now we have a tape delay. We can change the type of effect here. There's stereo tape, there's a ducking delay, reverse delay. Let's see how that sounds. All right, cool. So now I've changed it to a triangle chorus. You can see how that sounds just right off the bat. If I want to get in and edit something, this is universal for all the different menus on here. So we go to the effects menu, and it says type, and then effects level. You can control the amount of effect that's applied. So if I were to turn that down, I'm only getting a very, very slight amount of a chorus. You can turn it way up as well. Let's see. Goes up all the way up to 10. It's a much wetter sound. You can also control the rate. So if I want a really fast chorus, or I can, of course, get a very slow chorus. That's still pretty fast. So that's very slow. So There's also depth control, average delay. Depends on which type of effect you're looking at. There's different options. So what I'm going to do is exit back out into our preset menu and go back to our standard preset. Basically what I did is just reset all the things we changed back to the preset. So now what I want to do is listen to some of the drums. So these are the drums that we hear with this particular preset. Every preset has a set amount of drum, or a set drum pattern, set bass pattern. This doesn't have any sort of accompaniment like chords or anything like that, but it has a sound that goes with it too, and this is the sound that goes with it. So what we can do now is if we click on our drum button up here, we can change the pattern. That was rock 1. I'm going to change it to, let's see, rocker. So you can see that's slightly different. It's also changed what the bass is playing. While it's going, I can switch to another setting even. So now we have a samba patch, but I haven't changed the guitar sound, so it's still going to be the same exact guitar sound. So basically I'm playing the exact same sound with a different drum pattern. So let's change it back to I'm going to change it back to our standard setting here. By doing that, I'll exit and switch right back to it. Another thing that the G-DEC allows you to do is you can change the key of what you're playing. So we were just playing an E. I'm going to go down and switch it, let's see, to A sharp. You can also change the tempo. So I'm going to go to the tempo selector. Sometimes you can go right past if you go too quick. Start it back up. I'm going to slow it down. Also speed it up. One really cool thing that you can do as well is while the accompaniment is playing, you can record sort of a loop that'll play along with the accompaniment. So I'm going to start up the accompaniment. And there's a record button right here. And now I'm going to hit it. Oh, it'll start over again. Alright, now I'm going to set it to play back. So it also lets you play along with what you previously played. So let's say I want to put a rhythm track underneath that. So it lets you do stuff like that too. It has a limited amount of looping time, but it's still a pretty cool feature. You can also do it the other way around. That's probably the way you would rather do it, is record a rhythm track and then later put a solo over that. One of the real cool things that you can do with the G-DEC is sort of treat it like you would a video game. So basically it gives you a drum beat and a tone and some accompaniment that you need to play along to, and you just need to come up with something to play along with it. So it's kind of a good tool, sort of a good skill building practice as well. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of that right now.